Thank you. Definitely relations with Georgia for us are of strategic importance, and due to the historical connections between our peoples, our mutual past as being non-free and non-independent, and also period of independence where from the very beginning Georgia and Azerbaijan demonstrated very high level of mutual understanding, partnership, friendship, and actually managed to transform the region of Southern Caucasus into strategically important. It was done by us only, by Georgia and Azerbaijan. Situated between two seas, Caspian and Black Sea, we are the gateway for each other to contact different regions and continents. So the prospects, I'm sure, will be as bright as our present. Just among the last developments which indicate the close partnership and friendship relations between two countries, I would name the visit of Prime Minister of Georgia, the first after elections. Usually the first visit after elections has a very symbolic sense. So the first visit was a visit to Azerbaijan. And also we expect soon the first after elections visit of the President of Georgia also to Azerbaijan. So these two facts, a clear indicator of our relationship, our commitment to each other and our friendship. Of course, we can talk a lot about the projects which unite us. They're well known, therefore I don't want to take much of your time, but they're important not only for us, for our peoples and countries, but also for a large geography, especially now when we are adding to that green agenda, which we just discussed briefly. Again, it's a green corridor for Azerbaijan and Georgia, transportation corridor, middle corridor. It cannot be avoided. Frankly speaking, I was surprised when I was informed about the comments of President of European Commission, Madam Ursula von der Leyen, which she made in Uzbekistan at the summit of Central Asian leaders with the leaders of European Commission, when she was talking about opening the border between Azerbaijan and Armenia and Turkey in order to facilitate the middle corridor, as they call it in Europe, global gateway. That was very strange because this corridor exists and Armenia plays no role in that. We can understand the feelings of European bureaucrats towards Armenia, but you cannot ignore the map. And we in Georgia and in Azerbaijan, we provided all those facilities which today help Europeans to communicate with Central Asia. Georgian seaports, Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railroad, Azerbaijani seaport, in Alat, Caspian shipping, which is instrumental in transportation. All that is ignored. How much money we invested, all that is ignored. Only open the border between Turkey and Armenia, open the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. What Europe has to do with that? It's none of their business. Relations between Turkey and Armenia and Azerbaijan and Armenia, the longer distance between European Union and these issues is the better for everyone. But there was not a single word about Georgia, as if Georgia do not exist. This is unfair. And the attitude to Georgia's internal process in European Commission is absolutely unacceptable. This is a behavior of colonialists. They try to look at the will of Georgian people from the prism of their colonial past. This is absolutely unacceptable. And the people of Georgia know that we are with them, and the government of Georgia knows, and internal issues of Georgia must be resolved by Georgian people, not by bureaucrats from Brussels. So with respect to all that, we need to strengthen our partnership between Georgia and Azerbaijan. And as already we discussed during the previous questions, to look at opportunities of Southern Caucasus to establish ties without any facilitator. We are fed up with these facilitators. We had those facilitators for 28 years, this notorious OSCE Minsk group, which only goal was to seal the occupation and to transfer Karabakh to Armenia. And now when we hear about someone who wants to facilitate, we are a little bit concerned. So let us ourselves, we live here in the region, we as Azerbaijan want to have good neighborhood relations with European institutions, primarily European Commission, but not at the expense of our interests, not at the expense of their continuous attempts to interfere into our internal affairs, finance different segments of our society, brainwash our young generation, and to poison the brains of some people in our region. So this is how we want to see Southern Caucasus. As leading countries of the Southern Caucasus, Azerbaijan and Georgia, of course, should take the main burden for cooperation. But of course, Armenia, when and if agrees to, amend its constitution with respect to territorial claims against Azerbaijan, can join the process, and we can think about future long-term predictable situation in our region.